Good morning, good afternoon, whenever you're viewing this. Welcome to week number 4. And in this particular week, we're going to talk about food and beverage operations that you would find in a hotel. So last week we did room operations, and then we're going to flip to food and beverage operations, where we'll think about some of the traditional areas, such as a hotel restaurant, or bar, but then thinking about some of the other departments that fall under food and beverage operations, such as the meeting room space and catering, and things like that. When we take a look, the format is going to be very similar to last week, where you have an overview of kind of some of the basic departments that might fall into a food and beverage operations facilities in a hotel. And again, this could vary based on the size of the hotel, or the classification of the hotel. If you have a select service or limited service hotel, it might only have rooms and it might not have a very substantial, if any, food and beverage offering. So again, this is going to depend based on the hotel, what particular positions you're going to find. You're also going to see some food and beverage metrics, which are very important. Specifically, profit margins in food and beverage are a little bit tighter. So it's important to make sure we're understanding the metrics. Some fun videos that kind of highlight F&B service, as well as types of bars, meeting rooms, and types of meeting room sets. We will talk more substantially about meetings, conventions, things like that later in the semester. We'll also be able to, this week, have a quiz on the first 3 chapters, as well as I'm introducing the beverage assignment, which is going to be in a couple of weeks, and then the food and beverage assignment, not necessarily to do yet, but to start thinking about. And so I'll flip right now to the beverage assignment, because this is the one that I sometimes get some questions on. And so this is going to be kind of a fun way for you to be the teacher and be able to share information about your assigned beverage. The questions that you're going to be answering: how is beverage made? How is the particular beverage that you've been assigned made? Where does it come from? Looking for a particular country or how it's manufactured, some trends associated with it, and then what food does it pair best with. And so as I scroll down on this beverage assignment, you'll see what the beverage is, and then you'll see alphabetical by first name who it's assigned to. So you'll be able to have a couple of weeks to research, because this particular assignment is not due until September 22nd. So if you have any questions, do let me know. Okay, and as I said, for food and beverage operations in a hotel, here's an example of what one might find that is underneath that particular category. Executive chef. Culinary, right? All of the preparation of the food that gets served. One of the highlights here, that this steward position that I wanted to point out could either fall under the executive chef, or in some places report directly to the director of food and beverage. The stewarding department, the chief steward position, is responsible for all of the cleanliness of the kitchens and dishwashing, which is super important because there's so many restrictions and guidelines as to titration of chemicals, temperature of the machinery, making sure that the equipment is working properly, things like that. In the middle, you have kind of the event operations and event planning arms that are dealing with the planning and execution of food and beverage settings inside meeting space. Or hotel ballrooms. And then you have the food and beverage outlets at the very end. So that could be a restaurant, it could be room service or in-room dining. Not as many hotels have that particular offering as they did pre-pandemic, certainly. There could be a bar, and there's a couple different types of bars, and you'll see a whole other page on different ways that bars are served, as well as a coffee shop or coffee kiosk, something like that. So hopefully this week will give you a good taste of food and beverage, first of all in hotels, and then in the following weeks we'll talk a little bit more broadly, specifically through the beverage assignment, and then as we think about freestanding restaurants in the weeks to come. So I hope you enjoy food and beverage, and I look forward to potentially even seeing some service evaluations. I did put experience that I had in there so that it could kind of start people off. So you could feel free to ask questions or make comments on mine, or add your own story so that we can make sure that we're using that service evaluation sheet that we created together as a class in the first week to really make sure that we're evaluating service throughout the semester. I hope you have a great week ahead. Thank you.